She walked into the bank holding nothing but a worn purse and quiet dignity, yet within minutes, the staff treated her like she didn't belong, like she wasn't worth their time. What they didn't know was that the man walking toward those glass doors, descending from a black custom Rolls-Royce, wasn't just any customer, he was her husband, a billionaire whose decisions could change the fate of everyone in that building. Before we start, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Tales and Turns. And tell us where you're watching from, your comments help our stories travel the world. She arrived just after opening hours, blending easily with the morning crowd. Her clothes were simple, her hair tied back neatly, and she carried a quiet confidence that didn't demand attention. But the moment she stepped toward the counter, the banker's smile faded. He glanced at her outfit, judged her in a second, and spoke with the kind of dismissive tone that cuts deeper than any insult. She explained softly that she needed to access her account for an urgent reason, but he waved her off, claiming she needed minimum balance verification and management approval, even though none of that was true. She stood patiently, trying not to feel embarrassed as customers behind her began to stare. A few whispered, some chuckled quietly. The banker leaned toward his colleague and said loud enough for her to hear, "These types always come asking for favors." Heat rose to her face. Still, she kept her composure, hoping someone, anyone, would show kindness. But another employee approached her and asked her to step aside because they needed to prioritize real clients. Her heart tightened, but she swallowed the humiliation, stepped back, and waited. Minutes crawled by. She checked her phone, missed calls, urgent messages, reminders of why she'd rushed here. But no one at the bank cared. Finally, she approached the desk again, politely asking if someone could help her. The banker rolled his eyes and told her to come back another day, adding that people like her needed special scrutiny. The words pierced her, not because she believed them, but because they came from a place of pure, unprovoked cruelty. She was about to leave, about to accept this humiliation silently, when the floor beneath the bank seemed to vibrate. A deep engine growled outside. Heads turned toward the glass entrance as a sleek, armored, limited edition Rolls-Royce pulled up. The chauffeur rushed to open the door. And out stepped a tall man in a charcoal suit, calm, intimidating, the kind of presence that made people stand straighter without knowing why. The bank staff stiffened. Customers fell silent. Someone, important had arrived. He walked with purpose, ignoring the hushed murmurs trailing him like shadows. But his eyes searched the room for one face, the face of the woman he loved more than anything. When he saw her standing in a corner, clenching her purse and fighting back tears she didn't want anyone to see, his expression changed. The staff rushed toward him, eager to assist, eager to please, unaware of the storm about to break over them. "Sir, welcome. How may we help?" But he brushed past them and went straight to his wife. He gently took her hands, lifted her chin, and asked, "Who spoke to you like this?" His voice was calm but carried a razor-sharp edge. She tried to say it didn't matter, but the tremble in her voice betrayed her. He turned to the staff, his gaze colder than steel. "My wife came here for assistance. Why was she denied?" The banker stuttered, struggling to form excuses, but the billionaire wasn't interested. Within seconds, he requested the branch manager. When the manager arrived, visibly shaken, the billionaire revealed his identity, one of the bank's biggest investors, a major stakeholder, the kind of man whose signature could expand or end careers. The realization washed over the staff like ice water. He calmly explained everything that had happened, from the dismissive behavior to the insults. The manager's face drained of color as customers watched, stunned. He made a simple request: train your staff to treat every customer with respect, no matter what they look like. Because today it was my wife. Tomorrow it'll be someone without a voice, someone unable to defend themselves. His words carried weight, not with anger but with controlled disappointment. The staff apologized repeatedly, but the billionaire wasn't interested in punishment. He was interested in change. With a single phone call, he ensured new policies, new training, and internal reviews that would reshape the culture of that branch. Then he turned back to his wife, placing his hand on her back gently as he led her toward the exit. But before they left, the banker who'd mocked her whispered, "If I'd known." The billionaire stopped. His eyes narrowed. "That's the problem," he said quietly. "You only respect people when you think they matter. Treat everyone like they do." As they stepped outside, he held the door for her, helping her into the car with the tenderness of a man who'd gladly move mountains to ease her pain. The world saw him as a billionaire. But she knew him as the man who, no matter how powerful he became, would always stand beside her, not above her. Inside the car, she finally let a tear fall, and he held her hand until she regained her strength. The bank behind them returned to its routine, but something fundamental had shifted. Employees whispered about the moment they learned the quiet woman they dismissed carried more grace than all their titles combined. And as the Rolls-Royce pulled away, she realized that sometimes life doesn't reveal your worth through wealth or status, but through moments that test who truly stands in your corner. And so, the simple woman who walked in alone walked out with her head high, not because her husband was a billionaire, but because the world had just witnessed the quiet power of dignity, kindness, and the truth that respect should never depend on appearance.